somebody at home who's never had gloves on, let alone taking a punch, tell the difference between 12 and 10, because I think it might be between consciousness and sleeping.
10-ounce gloves is really, really light, and it just, especially having the cast and the hand wraps that they're going to have, is going to feel like, as Logan said, like he got a gun in his hand.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to feel like you have a brick, a rock in your hand. So it's going to be really different once they get hit, especially without the headgear.
It's it. Yeah. Logan knows how to throw a punch. He definitely knows how to drop a line. The one you're referring to is the one he uttered right here. Give me Logan on the new gloves.
Quite honestly,
great job.
Somebody's getting knocked out. And quite honestly, that's what I want.
That's right. It'd be me and Eddie Hearn going at it. Silk lining, that's going to be the new thing, man. So I'm going to do that for you. You're going to be the first guy to wear it.
A silk lining?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, I'm fancy.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be allowed. I swear to God, this should not be allowed. Last year we fought with 12-ounce gloves. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but 2 ounces is going to make a lifetime of a difference.
Logan's punches in the first fight, if they were 10-ounce gloves, would have knocked him out.
Oh my God. These are legal to...
Hell yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's the same thing that Triple G uses. That's the same one that, like, all those guys that use 10s.
I feel like I'm holding a gun in my hand. My hands are really quick. And so if we're practicing in 18-ounce gloves and I'm looking fast then, and then we move to 10-ounce gloves for the fight, I mean, you do the math.
All right, so we hear the gloves. It's exciting. It feels kind of dangerous. We're with Mike Coppinger, who writes about boxing for The Athletic. When you hear that story, what does it make you think of?
Just gloves, you know, 8 ounce for guys 147 pounds and below, 10 ounce for anything above in boxing. I just remember Mike Tyson would always get that glove all the way into his fist, and he'd really punch it against the wall. That way you could feel the fist through the glove, and it is possible because gloves are constructed in very different ways. You have the Reyes glove, which is a puncher's glove, and you can distribute that 10 ounces whichever way you want.
Yeah. Any Iron Mike story we will always take. Can you imagine being the gentleman in the ring who has to control the action between these two? It is the referee for the main event tonight, and Radio Raheem is standing by with him. Take it away, my man.
I've just found out what that piece of equipment was, and it couldn't have been a better answer. It is a hematoma scanner. That is to find out if there's any bleeding underneath the skin on the brain, find out if there's any contusions that might hinder the fighter's ability to recover. That is a piece of equipment that might save a life in the ring. That is something I hadn't seen before. I'm glad to see that technology is making this fight safe, the fight game even safer. One guy who is going to be tasked with one of those missions tonight is Jack Reese. He's the referee for the main event for KSI and Logan Paul. He is a legend, Hall of Famer in my book. I'm certain of it. And Jack and I have done many fight nights together. But what I saw tonight was something I hadn't actually seen in its full capacity before, which was the fighter's instructions. They were quite elaborate. I don't know if that's just something that you do, Jack, or is that standard throughout the industry?
I can't tell you what other guys do, but it's my time to get comfortable with him and vice versa, to what's going to happen in the ring, what I expect of him, and what he can expect of me, the commands I'll be using and such, and things like that, so there'll be no confusion in the ring, and no one will get hurt because of some confusion.
I noticed that when you asked if they had any questions, the one thing they were most concerned about was holding. And I would like for you to explain to the audience what the difference between clinching and holding is.
Well, clinching is actually allowed in boxing. Clinching is an offensive technique used to navigate the ring. A fighter gets walked down and he's taking shots on the ropes. He doesn't like it. He'll clinch up, get his body off the ropes, and let go. That's totally legal. Holding is when you completely stop any progression of the fight and, you know, repeatedly it starts getting to a point where it changes the flow of the fight and you do something about it.
Now, knowing that these are two fighters who've never had a professional fight before, knowing the danger that exists, I know you've done pro debuts, but is this one any different than others that you've done? Are you looking for anything else in particular that may be unique to this fight?
Well, the stakes are much higher for a pro debut in this fight, and they're fighting 6 rounds instead of 4 on a pro debut. The thing that I'm very comfortable with, that I watched their last fight, and these guys can both fight. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be great for boxing. And you just never know who you're going to get when they get in that ring because the pressure. And that's what I'm going to be worried about. Sometimes these guys get worn out just from the pressure. I don't see it with these 2 young guys, but I'll be looking for that.
Well, like we saw in DAZN just last week, Kovalev gassed all the way in the 11th, and it seemed like a close fight.